Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's Action Figure Showcase, we have part 3 of my PG era collection. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Welcome back. Like I said, today we've got part 3 of the PG era collection, and I wanted to start out with 2 of my, not favorites, but I think kind of underrated figures in my collection. I think this Yoshitatsu Elite is awesome. Okay. We're going to start off with Drew McIntyre. I think this is another great Elite. It is just a re-release of the original Elite we got of him, which I did have that one. But this is his look when he had his first run in WWE. He was the chosen one. He had his Intercontinental title reign. Really, he was pushed hard, but it was a huge failure. Obviously, he ended up getting released. I personally, like going back and watching, thought that I enjoyed his stuff in 3MB. I thought the 3-man band was hilarious, culminating with WLC. Thought like that is another like a guilty pleasure, underrated, whatever you want to call it, match that I always enjoyed that. But anyway, back to this Elite here. Still has the like Seth Rollins size ripped torso. The legs, pretty sure these legs, well, maybe not. I'm pretty sure they use the same size legs on his new Elites, which this older one and like his first run and his second run, I think he only has been released once. His legs should not be the same. I know they gave him the torso upgrade, the arms and everything, but he, as far as like musculature, there was not a lot of definition with him, but all in all, I think it's a very nice figure, especially with the re-release. You got the double jointed arms and the like the cloth goods coat here. The head sculpt I think is a good head sculpt for that time period. And then he's in a white attire, which is different than besides him wearing it at WrestleMania, which we haven't gotten a figure of. He hasn't really worn that. He's just had different black attires. Let's try to get back to Yoshitatsu before he decides to launch himself off the rotating base here. This is the only Elite we got of Yoshitatsu. I like going through the line and seeing guys that only had one Elite, just because typically they're like a deeper cut roster guy, or it's just like sometimes it just works out like that. Well, I guess I'll say Evan Bourne was one, but he had 2 in his time. Anyway, with Yoshitatsu, I really like the head sculpt. I think it's a very good likeness for him, and like I don't care about him as a wrestler at all. Like I don't have a reason to. The attire on this figure though is wild. Like the dragon design looks really cool. It looks like they took 3 distinct separate parts, they put them all together, and they made a good figure with it. Like they've got a bunch of detail on the boots, the knee pads, like it's all in there, and I think it looks really cool. And like I said, I don't have any personal love or like tie to Yoshitatsu whatsoever, but I think this is a great figure and 2 that I was happy to start out with today. Next up, we have a couple Cara Elites, and I don't know if the jacket on the green one is the one that came with him, but it matches obviously. It doesn't have the same detail as the white one, but I have always thought Cara figures were really nice. I like the leg mold they have for him, which I don't even know if anyone else has it. It's a thicker leg mold. Let's see, we'll just take the white one, or we'll take this one out since he's already unbuttoned, but all the Sin Caras are the same. They've got the same torso. He's the only person, well now AJ Styles has gotten this torso in his skin tone, but they made him like an entirely exclusive Elite for a long time, where I don't think anyone else got these legs and calves and torso combo, which I think, especially for smaller guys, they always give them real skinny legs, but they didn't do that with the Sin Cara figures, and I think it looks really nice. I really wish they'd do that for a lot of other stuff, but you take your wins where you get them, and this is definitely one. I used to have the blue and the gold. I don't know if I do anymore. I might have used it for parts, but I've got a few other Sin Caras, and they're all just repaints. They're different looks. The older Sin Cara Elites have the tattoo on the shoulder because it was Hunico who was portraying him instead, which he should have been a little taller then, I'm pretty sure. But nonetheless, I like both of these. I really like the white and gold. This is my favorite one. I think it looks really clean. The green looks cool. It's different. I know we've got like a black, pink, and white one, like that one. They're all nice. They're all good figures. The repaints look good. I don't remember what the last one might have been, but yeah, Sin Cara they tried to make him a big piece of the PG era, and it just didn't work. It flopped so hard, and I don't know what the deal was. It's just like, it felt like he was cursed, and he also seemed kind of like a diva. The whole broken finger thing or dislocated finger thing, I think, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. If you don't know what that is, just go check it out. We won't get into it here. But those are the only like PG era, I guess, Sin Caras I've got, so had to sneak them in here. Next up are a couple of my favorite figures to collect. Here we've got some Rey Mysterio Elites. And before you think to yourself, what is wrong with your Lakers Mysterio? I torso swapped it. So I took that torso and put it on an Elite custom of WrestleMania 22 when he won the title. And then we got the Ultimate Edition shortly after that. So I need to swap it back. I don't need that custom anymore, obviously, because we got the Ultimate. So he just had this torso on there. I don't remember why I even originally had it. But everything else, like this was what he had for a long time look-wise. He had like the arm sleeves, the split pants, like there's a bunch of different versions. They're always like, there's a million different Rey Mysterios, but I always thought this was a cool colorway. I think it's Lakers inspired. The purple and yellow is different too for a lot of the stuff that we get. We have actually a few figures of his that have yellow on them, but that's not a color you see on the shelf a lot, so it pops really well. And then the Dia de los Muertes Rey Mysterio here. I'm sorry if I pronounced that horribly. This was such a cool figure. I think it was re-released. I don't know, maybe this was the re-release, now that I think about it. Oh, it has to be. It's got double jointed arms, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it's a really cool Rey. He wears a lot of cool attires, and the Halloween, yeah, I don't know. I'll just stop talking about where the inspiration came from. It looks awesome. I love the mask. I thought that the mouth that they put on him looks too like cartoony, and then I went and looked at the actual like paint, the reference, and that's pretty spot on for how it looked. This one, gosh, what set was it? A greatest hit set? Maybe like the first greatest hit set. For this one, I've picked it up. I've used them for a few customs. The original, was it like Elite 22 maybe? Something around there. I remember seeing this at the stores. So the first Mattel Elite figure that I bought was Elite 22. I think it was Rock. It was bald Rock with his new WWE Championship. That was the first figure I got that got me back into the Mattel line. And I had debated between picking up this Rey, the Rock, and then they had a Wade Barrett, which I don't know why I would have picked up a Wade Barrett. I think he came with the new Intercontinental, or the white Intercontinental at the time. So that's why, like, Jack's belts did not look as good as Mattel belts. So I think that's why I was looking at it. But I had originally passed over this Rey. I wasn't going to pick it up for a long time. I was going to just get one of each character. And that obviously, if you follow the channel, you know that is absolutely not what happened. But couple of Reys here. Moving on. Next up are a couple of Sheamus figures, and I think I've been pretty open about how I feel about Sheamus figures. I think that they nail him. I think that his formula is good. His head sculpts are almost always spot on. I really like these because they have the more like ridiculous dyed color that he had when he debuted. Like he's a redhead naturally, and he's super white, which I love that they use this for him. Like I don't think they should have used this skin tone really with any other guys. I don't think anyone is nearly as white as Sheamus. and his nickname being the Great White is hilarious. But moving on from there, like I said, I love the hair color. It's definitely darker on these ones compared to some other elites we have of him. And I don't typically collect a ton of different Sheamus elites, but when I've got a very different head sculpt or a different attire, I try to pick it up. So I want like the black one here, and I have no idea what series these ones are from. The black one with the like green filled in on the tights, I really like, because that's a little bit different than some later elites we'd get where it's just kind of black and white, and then he's got like some gold in there. And then the red attire I think is awesome. I have a custom of a red attire Sheamus that was from when him and Cesaro were the Bar. So I don't love it. It was just it worked for the time being. But I really like this Sheamus Elite. I might do a showcase of just Sheamus figures, or like maybe I'll do Sheamus and Cesaro or something. I don't know. I have a lot of Sheamus figures I'd like to look at. But anyway, moving on. There's Sheamus. Next up, we have one of the many John Cenas in my collection, and I think this John Cena was the first. I want to say this was the first top picks John Cena we got where they went back and gave us an older attire. I could be wrong there, but they gave him the wristbands and the armband that were molded instead of painted, which I would take a whole wave of Cenas like this where they just redid old ones so I could just stock that shelf up. I don't have nearly as many John Cenas as I would like to, so I think it's an awesome figure. The feet, they're supposed to be, with his new Ultimate, supposed to be getting a new foot mold, and then I think we're getting a new foot mold after that as well. Like they changed, that'll be like a one-time thing because they didn't like it, but these feet, these specifically on this figure are relatively tight, so they hold well, but I know a lot of them, especially as they get old, get looser. This attire is at WrestleMania 25, I want to say. That's what's in my head. 25. I could be wrong. I'm pretty positive that's where it's from. This Finley is the only elite Finley I believe that we got, and I think it's a good figure. I think the formula is really nice, but it is on ratchet joints, and it makes it really hard to pose and just like move and articulate. And then the purple. So I don't know if this was based off his WrestleMania match with JBL, but when I think of Finley, I think of him in his white, or in his green, black, and white attire. Like I didn't really watch during the PG era, so for me this is just not the look I thought of with Finley. I do have a custom I made of him that I used the ball joints, and I made him in the like more classic attire I think of with him. And then I've got him posed with Hornswoggle and everything, but still, like, both of these I think are fantastic figures. Next up are some personal favorites in my collection. We've got a couple CM Punks as well as Straight Edge Society Luke Gallows here, and this is the only Straight Edge Society version of Luke Gallows that we got. We obviously got the version of him as one of the Good Brothers when he returned and tagged with Carl Anderson, but two like completely different characters. And then we also have a Jax Festus figure, which I will make an elite of that one day. I'll get around to it. But with these guys here, I think the Gallows is awesome. I've used it to make a New Japan version of him in that shorts look. I'm surprised they didn't just release an easy one like that with Mattel. I'm surprised we only ever got one figure of each of them. With the Punks here, these are both custom. So one is in the red attire from the Royal Rumble, I think. I think that's it. It was a basic that I just updated to an elite. I have the Straight Edge Society shirt. The head sculpt is House 14. I had it on my shelf for a long time, meant to paint it. At first, before I painted it, I thought the hair looked too big. Once I'd painted it up, I love it. I think it looks really, really good, which you can get from Craniac Studios now that he's taken over House 14. So that one's all painted up. And then we've got the masked version, which we have the mask that you can pull over the normal head on that original Ringside Collectibles CM Punk with the arm sling and everything. I will be shocked. Like, I will be absolutely shocked if we do not get that CM Punk re-released in the From the Vault series. I can see it being announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Some way or another, I think we will get the re-release of that Punk. This one is based off of WrestleMania 26, 6. I think that was when he fought Rey Mysterio. He didn't wear the mask. He had the long hair and everything, but I wanted to put that mask on one of the figures, so put that one there, put the other House 14 skin on. The mask sculpt is from Hederation. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to just be all black, but I wanted to pop a little bit more, so I know I'd seen pictures with him with the white outline, so that's just what I went ahead and did. But like I said, a couple of my favorites, I'm going to go through and just, like, I know we're obviously going to get a lot of CM Punk figures, and I'm not going to just jump ahead, make a bunch of them, and just have them all be made. But as we start getting more, especially once we start getting the double jointed arms and true effects heads with CM Punk, I will be picking them up. I'll be making as many customs. I want to get like every attire he has, because I always thought it was cool that he changed it up and has a lot of cool inspirations. But like this G.I. Joe one, this WrestleMania one was G.I. Joe inspired. I think it's really cool. So there is our Straight Edge Society, Punk and Gallows. Next up, we have some figures that I like, but characters I could not give two sheeps about whatsoever. We've got Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez. And I've said multiple times, this part, I think, in other videos, I didn't watch the PG era. Alberto Del Rio was almost exclusively a PG era guy. He came in and he left. I don't know how many times he left and came back, but he was never a guy that connected with me. I mean, in general, I don't think he connected with the crowd a lot. Like, he had his main event pushes. He was always kind of floating around, but other than him coming back, returning, and partnering with Zeb Coulter to take the United States title from John Cena. I think that's what it was before Cena had to have elbow surgery. I think that's right. I think that might be the most he was ever cheered. He did a lot of inconsequential things after that. He was drafted when they split the brands again, and then I think he never showed up on SmackDown or whatever he was on. But as far as his figures go, I think they're very good figures. I think the formula is good for him. I like that. Like, I think that torso works. It's pretty much just the Ric Flair formula. I think it's the Ric Flair legs and everything, Ric Flair torso, and the arms are bigger. So I think it works. He had different phases where he was just like a little bulkier, a little more cut, but I think all the likenesses that they've used for his figures are typically pretty good. And just overall, I think it is a good looking figure. The Ricardo Rodriguez, I think this was Build-A-Figure. I don't remember which wave it was, but I love getting managers, so I always thought it was cool that we got him. I think the most important thing as far as my fandom went was him teaming with Kalisto in NXT, and then just like silently getting moved out of the way so he could partner with Sin Cara. But I have no idea. I think that's paint that's all over his leg. I'm not sure how that happened. The likeness for him is great. I like that they got the bow tie in there for the Build-A-Figure piece still, and I think he should be taller. You see, Alberto's kind of leaning on him so he doesn't fall over. But like I said, two characters that I'm glad I have on my shelf, even though I don't necessarily care for them in the ring. All right, and to wrap things up today, I have the Hart Foundation. And these, again, are guys that I have no real emotional tie to. As the Hart Foundation. So I think these figures are nice. I think the formula for D.H. Smith could be better. I like the legs, but I think they should have given him the Stone Cold or British Bulldog torso. And then the Tyson Kid, I like his formula. I like the feel of his figures, but he's on ratchet joints, and these figures aren't easy to get, I'm pretty sure. Like, I know it was hard for me to kind of get them on the secondary market, so I don't even really move them around besides just their arms. Like D.H. Smith, you cannot move his legs at all. The Natalia was a basic, but basics were pretty solid during this era. The Tyson Kidd, I remember Tyson Kidd debuting. I think he was in ECW, and I just remember thinking, this dude has stupid hair. What is he doing with his hair? And I still don't know what the goal was there. You can see he's got the reverse male pattern baldness where he's only got it in the front. I don't know what was going on here. But these figures, I always like tag teams that are matching. I like when we can get matching attires for tag guys, and then we've obviously got the trio. They're all in their black and pink, and I think these would look really good. I think they might have come with like t-shirt accessories originally, but like I said, I got them on the secondary market loose for a decent price, so I was happy with it then. We've gotten more Tyson Kidd figures, obviously. I think maybe just one Elite in his white and purple attire when he was tagging with Cesaro, and then I've made some customs of him as well, which those are some valuable parts to pick up, use for customs. But that is it. That's going to round out part 3 of the PG era collection, and I know it's like not in chronological order as far as some of these attires, and it might even be, especially with John Cena's, I might mess up time periods, but when I think of PG era, this is kind of the stuff I think of, and I wanted to throw it in here. So if you have any comments, suggestions, just throw them down below. If you liked the video, you stayed here to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy more action figures. Figure Dude out.